Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Space Engineers No Suit Survival. Got a fairly exciting episode today. I'm going to be looking for a new place to build our more permanent base. The first thing I'm going to do today is, because I'm going to be out and about on the scout bike for a fair bit of it, I want the base to at least be working on some stuff in the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the mining drone to just keep doing some digging while I'm away. So what I want to do is I need some cobalt as well as the resources that I've already gathered. So I'm actually going to go over to my mining hole because there is a bit of cobalt back here as well. Now the cobalt is fairly deep. Stop just before that hole. Nearly fell in. Okay, there's a bit of cobalt down there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find where my original tunnel was for digging in and see if I can walk down. I think that was the tunnel down there. So I must have gone for cobalt somewhere. Where was my original tunnel that I dug down into? I think it must be this section here. It was where my GPS marker was initially. So I will just go down this side here. I'll dig my way out again. Yeah, I came through this tunnel here, dug across, and then down into here. So this is where the cobalt that I did a little hand drilling with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a GPS here of the cobalt. And because that's fairly deep underground, the drone is going to have to go through a fair bit of stone to get to it. So my refinery will have plenty of work cut out for it while I'm out and about. So I'm going to go back to actually, I'll stay here and bring the drone to me because I'll be able to see where its area of digging is going to be. That'll be good to see from here in person. So let me hop into the drone. Can't control it from here as I think the antenna is out of range. Right, yeah, the antenna on the base is... I should put an antenna on this scout bike here, I reckon. That would give me a little bit more reach, as the personal antenna range on your suit is really little more than, I think, like 100 meters tops. So I need to, yeah, be able to get into it like this. Go for the batteries, make sure they're on auto. We'll unlock the connector. Then we'll go to the drone's remote. Gain control of that. When you get this sort of effect where the ship is trying to pull back into the connector, all you have to do is just relock it and then unlock it and leave before it starts magnetizing again. So I'm just going to fly the drone over to that cobalt hole. I shouldn't need to see it. I'll just do it from above, and I'll dig a square. So it's going to fly to this location again. So all I need to do is set up a new mining job here. So then we need to make sure that this sensor range is active. There we go. Now we need to fly directly over where the cobalt is. So that was here. So it looks like it's a fairly large patch. So I'm going to start digging from here. And I need that to be flat with the horizon, so it's not digging on an angle. Then we're going to change the width and the depth. So we don't want it to be as wide, so we're going to make that more like a square here. The height I will go for probably something like that. And then depth is down at least 30 meters, so we need to go to about 44 meters. Well, that'll be way below the cobalt. Let's go to 40. That should give the drone plenty to work with. So if I go to change current job and then continue job, and we'll see how much progress that's going to take. So it's already at 1%, going down. So it's actually not going to take it too long. I might need to make that the drill go down a little deeper, although we'll see how it goes when it starts digging into this area. It'll slow right down. So yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. That should be okay. So next we're just going to go up and grab this unknown signal, as it's up in the mountains in the direction I want to go anyway. I'm thinking I'll start at this more of a gentle sloped part of the mountain and head up into where it's a bit steeper. I'll get out of the way before any assertive ships notice my base and start harassing me, so we'll just go at speed over here, out of the way of danger. Make sure the ore detector's on, so we can find any nice patches on the way. I need another iron patch, I think. I'll probably need a fairly large chunk of iron to be able to build the base that I'm intending, so yeah, 1 or 2 iron patches will be pretty useful. I don't really care about any of that. Don't need silver, got more than enough for the time being. So let's just head up to this unknown signal. See if I don't crash it. It does function a little bit, this bike does function a little bit like a ship when it's going up hills. It sort of flies up them on an angle. I can technically just jet up into the air if I really need to, but it makes landing very difficult, so I don't think I'll be doing that in any great hurry. Can just slide up nice and easily on 0 friction and then pop on the brakes. It will tip over, but that's okay. The overridden gyroscope is slowing it down so it doesn't break. Yeah, that's fine. It just gently rests on its side and hopefully won't roll down the whole hill. No, we're all good, so we'll just grind this down and then we'll keep going. And there is an idea that I had to build a flying scout vessel to find the new location, but I think going on foot in my nice little ice skate's a lot more fun. More challenging, so I'm going to do that. Just take all this stuff with me. There we go. Get that last little comment. There we are. Alright. Bike. Flip that back onto its wheels. And we'll go over that side of the mountain. I've got plenty of daylight here, so I can scout around for quite some time. Already lost 5% of my battery power, as you can see on the hotbar on that battery icon. I'm at 95%, so I might need to go back after searching around. I'm not sure exactly how long the power will last. Some magnesium back there, that could be useful. Nickel. So what I'm thinking is somewhere that's up nice and high. I want to basically build an air staging facility on top of a mountain, and then I want a lower area that can act as a hangar. And I'll be building that into the side of a mountain. So sort of having a hangar lower down beneath the air staging facility, and then the whole facility I'll build into the backside or the underground of a mountain, and then at the very top I'll just have a platform where I can build and repair vehicles from. Oh, there's some iron there. I'll mark this. Let's crank up that friction. So we've got iron, magnesium, silicon. There we go. If I keep a log of the patches that I come across, it'll also give me a good idea of where I've come from, so I don't lose my bearings too much. I can follow the path back down safely, relatively, as well. Let's have a look, see. It's still fairly snowy here. This would be a good area to drive around on with rovers, I reckon. But, that sort of area up there is looking fairly tempting, I must admit. It does hopefully need to be rover accessible, so I want to be able to drive like ground vehicles out of the production facility. Flying them out is easy enough, but being able to drive them out, I need some sort of smooth-ish terrain to work with. But that could work. If we're looking over here, I could build a hangar into that sort of section of rock there. Maybe have a side facility going up here, and then you could drive down that part of the mountain. Though what I do want to build a secondary offshoot facility which is accessible by like an overhead rail car that sort of goes across a canyon. So I need to find somewhere that's between two mountain peaks, really. It's what I'm ideally looking for. So let's just gently go down this. Shouldn't have too much trouble. It's a little precarious. Make sure we've got plenty of frictions, but sticking to it. And we can just sort of slide down easily enough. There we go. Don't even need to use the thrusters. Gone a bit too fast now. There we go. Because we're going for a bit more of a walk around, we might even see some stuff spawning. So the way the modular encounters system works is it's based on how far you travel. And magnesium silicon, that's pretty good. I might go and remark that. Back there. That could be a good spot, nice and accessible by a rover. There we are. So iron, silicon, magnesium. Just, yeah, copy that. It's the same as before. Copy another one. And yeah, I'm gonna head up to the top of that mountain. That should give me a better visual idea of where I am and what's around. It should be fairly uneventful on the way up there. This looks like a fairly smooth area to travel. Is there iron as well? Is that 3 in a row? No, just silicon. Oh, yeah, there it is. Look at that. Another of the exact same ores. That's crazy. I wonder if that can't be just one big vein, surely. Let's slow down that sideways, go up here. Actually, we'll go up to the ridge of this mountain. Some cobalt. Go on wheelies. Just lightly keep my feet on the ground, so I have control still. There you go. Now I can just keep rolling along. I don't have to constantly thrust because that's going to drain my batteries faster than anything. Just flying around basically. So that's looking like one big flat mountain range. That might not be ideal for what we want, although it is fairly close. I don't want to have to go looking too far. If we go over here, we might be able to see if there's any other nearby mountains. Well, they're pretty far, but you can see them. That one looks like a pretty flat topped mountain over there. got some lower ones down there. I would like it to be nice and tall. That is looking pretty solid. Although driving around on rovers is going to be a bit difficult off the top of that one. That one at least has snow all the way up on the right there. So I could drive up and down on vehicles. I wonder if that is the one to go for. I'll keep it in mind. So that's to the south-southwest. So remember that south-southwest is where the other one that I'm looking at is. But for the time being, let's go up to this one, the top of this mountain, and see if I get a better view of what's going on. There might be a nice area on the other side. And the closer I am to this STDR station, the better, really. It'll shorten any trips that I want to make there. Might not even need this overridden gyroscope to be as strong as it is, because it's keeping my orientation when going up and down mountains. And if I turn off the override, it might give me a little bit more of a traction to the terrain, rather than, so right now I'm sort of going off on right angles and whatnot to the direction of movement. But if I turn the gyroscope off, it'll move around with the terrain, ideally. So let's just follow gravity down here. See, I end up in this sort of angle, and if I turn that off, I might actually... Let's turn off this override here. We'll see how we go. I can't even get up now, so I will need that gyroscope by the looks of it. So we'll keep that on. Yeah, that's giving me a lot of control. I think I have to go around with that. Can't really afford to not have it on. I believe overridden gyroscopes are more powerful than just regularly turning with your mouse and your keys. That's giving me a lot of my rotational force. I think without it I don't even have enough force to even pick myself up. Let's go for that slope there. Make my way up. Magnesium. Iron, silicon. Wow, again. Just want to mark these out just for fun and see how many we come across. Probably gives the driver a bit of whiplash. It can't be a terribly exciting driving experience, especially if we look in first person. It's very jarring, to say the least. I think we'll leave that in third person. So if we see here, it stops being snow, but the gradient is actually not too steep, so it would technically be drivable on a rover. Something with bigger wheels. I can sort of just go wherever on this bike, because its design is just perfect, if I do say so myself. Oh, just barely getting up that. I think, yeah. Shouldn't have any trouble, although I am getting a bit higher in the atmosphere, so maybe my thrusters are working a little bit less. So I think this might actually be the highest altitude I can achieve on this bike. Might need to come up here on a proper rover or something that's hydrogen powered. You see the thruster flame on those thrusters is getting smaller and smaller as I go up. Oh, just barely getting up here. I think that's, yeah, that's the apex of how far I can go with it. I might be able to go around to the top this way, so let's see if we can get there. I'll try going with 0 friction, although that seems like it might be a bad idea as I don't have any thruster control, so we'll stop that. I might need to run it on foot. I think that's as far as the bike's gonna get, maybe. And I'll just have to be really careful with friction. I can drive around with no friction. I lose almost all of my sideways control, which is a little suboptimal. It's definitely faster than legging it on foot, though. This should be the peak of the mountain here. Oh, magnesium, silicon. Is there an iron? Oh dear. Let's keep going if we can. Come on. Oh. Can't see any iron here. This would be pretty perfect if there was iron as well. So I'd be easily able to build a sort of factory around here. Oh, we're going down. Let's see if we can get to the top here. Actually, you know, I'm so close to the top that I might just run it. Let's see if we can go. Can we get there? Slide around with no friction. Alright, I think I'm going to have to leave the bike here. That's as far as it's going to go. So I'll leave a GPS waypoint for my bike. I skate, really. And, whoop, okay, it's a little bit too high for my oxygen anyway. Although that could be weather related. Or am I protected in my bike? I think I'm protected in the bike. For some reason, this is a pressurized cockpit? Doesn't have any oxygen. That is a very bizarre behavior. Alright, so that's, yeah, that's about as high as I can go. Let's see if I go a little lower. See if I can actually breathe at this altitude or not on foot. Because that will be big determinant. Alright, so I can breathe just barely here. That's, oh, no. What's that? Okay, so I just have air right next to the bike. That is very bizarre. I've never seen anything like that. That mountain over there does appear to be even higher in altitude than this one, so that might make this interesting. We can, yeah, I suppose we can see from a zoomed out perspective like this. There isn't really anywhere that I would want to make a cable car sort of thing. I could make like an angled cable car that goes across from that lower mountain to this higher mountain on an angle, although doing that with a vehicle would be extremely challenging. You can make a cable car quite easily on a straight, which I would like. But it seems as though for me to be able to scout this out a little better, I'm going to need something that can fly, really. Something that's got a pressurized cockpit. Unfortunately, I was hoping that I could get around on a bike, but it seems to be a little bit too high in terms of altitude for this vehicle to handle. A flying vehicle is going to have to be hydrogen for this altitude. Let's see, we can get rid of the bike GPS. We don't need that anymore, because we're back in it. So, we're 10 kilometers away from our base. We're probably going to need to, if I did build my base up here, I'd need to bring it up in a rover of fairly decent size and power. Or I could airlift it on a hydrogen transport. That might be fun. I could do that. So I'm going to go back to the base and build a hydrogen powered transport that I can at least scout around with, I think. That's probably what I'll have to do. A transport like that will be able to move large amounts of materials up to where I want to build my base anyway. But that's actually going to be quite fun, because I'll need to make the interior of the base pressurized at all times. So, well, why don't I'll go check out this other mountain over here as well. But I'll set a GPS for the potential base. So we'll go potential base 1. So this will be a location that I can consider. Hopefully on the other... I don't really want to use the spectator... I'm not going to use the spectator camera just to investigate it. That seems very cheatsy, so I'm going to make my way back down this mountain here. Hopefully we can do that without blowing up. Going to need to make sure I've got plenty of friction going. So yeah, I'm going to head over to the other mountain, although that one's looking... That one on the left, that mountain range, is looking like it's got 2 peaks there, which could work in our favour. And a nice slope. So I'm going to check out both of these bases as potential sites. Or both of these mountains as potential sites for the base. So I'll go to this one that I'm angled at first. And then we'll go to the other one. Picking up a bit too much speed, so let's keep that friction up. Down. So we're back into the range of where we can use our thrusters. I'll actually hop out my bike here and see if I'll see if I can breathe here as well. Yeah, it looks like the air isn't too thin to breathe at this altitude. And I have no way of knowing how high that is. I suppose the base is probably about 300 meters vertically. So let's go down, slide our way down, get our friction back on. It's time to get some nice bounces going here. Oh, let's slow down. I'm very glad I added timers to this to increase that friction in large amounts. I would not be able to do these maneuvers as agilely as I am without it. This is getting pretty precarious on the way down. I'm amazed I haven't broken anything yet. Iron, nickel, cobalt. Well, that's a change. At least it's not iron, silicon, and magnesium for once. So let's mark that. Let's stop. Yep. Let's go iron, nickel, and cobalt. Nickel, cobalt. Keep going down. Looks like this would be a great like skiing slope. Is there a GPS for that actually? In case I want to come back here and build some sort of ski resort or something in the future. It's going to be quite fun to drive down. So should be able just to slide down now on 0% friction by the looks of it. I'll pick up a whole bunch of speed. Hopefully I won't bounce too high at the bottom. Try to keep it nice and level. Oh, picking up some serious speed now. It's going to be some air. Ooh. Okay, so that lower mountain's actually beyond the horizon now. Can't even see either of them. So let's just go this way for a bit. Use the momentum I got from that. It was definitely in this direction. The weather can't even keep up with us. Okay, so there's that one. Start to slow down a little bit. So I think that was the mountain range that I was looking at as being potential, and then over there is that sort of flat-topped one. Ooh. Ooh. There we go, now we're slowing down. Ooh. Oh. Okay, yep. God knows how many G's that guy is experiencing when he slows down like that. Well, there's a supply drop over there. I wonder if that's worth investigating. So, can't exactly see it, like just barely on the horizon. But it's not what we're here for, so I'm going to continue on my way. So let's check out this one. It's a little low for my taste though, I think. The other one's nice and tall. This one seems a little bit disappointingly low. I don't really want to settle for that. I want it to be a challenge of where I'm going up to, so I would like to be able to have a pressurized habitat outside of atmospheric range. That sounds like a lot of fun. So up we go into this mountain, let's see what this one's like. Oh, ooh, dear. Oh, that was close. Nearly lost control. So, oh, now look at that. That one looks quite good. I believe that's the flat top mountain I saw from earlier, which was to the south-southwest from there, which would be... yeah, that checks out. That should be that one. And that one does have two peaks. They're pretty far apart though. So making a cable car across that would be a bit of a challenge, but that does sound quite fun. So this is this one here. I can go higher. That one is tempting, but I don't like the look of the elevation difference. So I don't think I'm going to go with this one. That one just looks pretty ideal. It's got a nice big slope that I can drive along, two peaks at about the same height. So I'm going to go check out that one. We'll see if that's at the point where I can stop breathing while driving around, so we'll see how we go at that one. Hopefully it is at the point where it's a bit too high for me to breathe, because that's what I ideally want to be working through as a challenge. So go for a bit of a slide. It's another iron, magnesium, silicon. What is this planet? It's just all iron, magnesium, silicon. That's crazy. Alright, let's go check out this one. At least the travel time's reasonable on this bike. Definitely wouldn't be able to drive this fast on a conventional rover. The vanilla speed limit as well. I don't want to go too fast. My max speed is 500 meters a second, but I'll only really be using that for travel. One idea I did have for going between here and Mars is turning up the speed limit to basically like thousands of meters a second, and then using a clang drive or some other form of wicked propulsion to get me up to ludicrous speeds and just sort of fly my way to Mars rather than using a jump drive. And I wonder, that could be fun, although a little bit dangerous with the asteroids that could get in the way. I think the only way I'd be able to do it is with a, yeah, really a clang drive that abuses the physics a little bit so I can get some stupidly crazy... Oh, look at that fault. I'm lucky I turned my friction up. I nearly crashed straight into that. So that is a world seam right there where the generation's gone a bit funny. Now we've got this nice big straight edge here. Let's mark that down here. So I don't fall into that on the way down when I'm driving out of this. I imagine that'd be quite hard to spot on the way down. It's like indistinguishable with the ground. Oh, look at that. Another one. Let's go up here, see how we do. That is looking pretty promising. I do like the imposing look of that. It's a good spot for the sun as well. It looks like it's settling, the sun is setting between the two peaks. Oh wow, that is a big slope. Let's slide down into that, turn the friction up a bit. Okay. Can't even see the slope now. I'm running out of daylight. Hopefully I do have some spotlights on this, just in case we don't make it in time. And that is looking pretty oppressively bleak. Going into the dark now. I do remember that there was a nice wide slope between the two peaks, so we'll go for that. Ideally, yeah, up here. You can see that a little bit better now, it's not like pitch black. One big shot. I didn't even notice that. That is a distinct problem. What's that? A fleeting rival. Well, I can try and lose it in the mountains here. We've lost a thruster, that's not very good. Hopefully it'll lose some atmospheric thrust power and also crash. Hopefully... Oh, I've lost both thrusters. Okay, that's bad. I have to hop out here. See if we can bring that down. That is very bad. Take out its gun. Nope. Oh, I'm dead. Oh dear. Underground. Take off that helmet, which I don't technically have. Right. Well, my body is 13 kilometers that way. Dear oh dear, that is a bit of a pickle. That's to the south-southeast. What do I do? You know, I'm gonna grab out some steel plate so I can add a marker. I doubt I'm gonna be able to get back to my body and pick up all my stuff, so I'm just gonna set up a little pointing stand here. And that's going to tell me the exact direction I need to head in next time. Well, that is a major pity. And a sort of observer. Wow, that thing must have been chasing me for a while. Well, I can rebuild my bike. I did make a blueprint of it, thankfully. That's easy done. But if that's going to be near an assertive observer, I'm going to need to build something with weapons on it to even clear out that location. But that does seem like the tempting location, and if the assertive are looking at that location as well, it makes it even more tempting. So actually, one thing I can do is I can use the drone. If I hop into my drone here, I can actually fly it up into the air and look at it out of the camera from a distance, so I might be able to see that area a little bit better. So make sure that that's fully unloaded first, and we'll just pause. It's currently charging the batteries, I think. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to tell it to stop. I'm going to undock. I'm going to go up. Body location. Fortunately, that text is a little in the way. Oh, outside of the range of our antenna. That's not good. Let's crank. Well, that can't be right. Oh, it's just run out of power. Okay. Sure. Why can't I? Why can't I control that? It should be in range. It's in range of this one. Get down here, silly drone. Wow, everything is going pear-shaped. Oh god, that thing's coming over here. Oh, what do I do? I don't have any guns. Quickly produce me a weapon. Get me some precision ammo as well. Hopefully I can fight that off. I've got ammo, just need a gun. I hope that's not zombies as well. Let's see now. We're loaded. See if we can take out that gun. It's going after my survival kit. It's a good thing I built another one underground. Oh, I think I took out its main thruster. That's coming down. Oh dear, what a mess. I hope that installation isn't sending more stuff. See, we lost a turbine. The drone is still way up in the sky, outside of my reach for whatever reason. Well then, that's a bit of a mess. I'm gonna keep a screenshot of that. That looks like pretty good thumbnail material. Right, well, I might leave it there for today. That's definitely seeming like a tempting place for me to build a base. That's near that world scene. Okay. The observer. Hopefully that's not going to keep sending enemies at me. I'm going to need to build a turret on the base, definitely.